I think this is the perfect day for motorcycling down here in southern Arizona. Hello everybody, I'm Sterling and this is the Motorcycle Travel Channel. And today I'm going on an all-day motorcycle adventure with my little Honda Trail 125. I wanted to see how this bike handles when it's fully loaded with all of my camping gear and just what kind of mileage I can do on a day like today. And I'm just going to go out and go riding into the mountains this afternoon, see how the bike handles, see what kind of mileage I can do, and just have a great day. I am looking forward to this day. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. I finally have the little Honda Trail 125 loaded up with camping gear, and I'm on the road. This would be a good time to thank the sponsor of this video, Touratech USA. I received a gigantic cardboard box in the mail the other day, and when I saw that distinctive yellow tape on the outside of the box, I knew what was inside. What I have here are two brand new Zega Evo panniers. I got the 31 liter size. It's the smallest size available. Now I've wanted to get a set of Touratech panniers for my Honda 125 ever since I got the bike. The problem is Touratech does not make a frame for the panniers that would fit on this motorcycle. Well, a couple of months ago I was looking on eBay and I discovered Touratech in Japan actually does make a frame, and so I ordered the pannier frame from Japan, and Touratech USA kindly sent me these brand new Zega Evo boxes. Not only that, I got a Touratech toolkit which mounts conveniently behind the panniers. Now the frame itself cost me $600, and the panniers, if I did have to purchase them myself, are about $700 each. So that comes to a grand total of $2,000 worth of luggage on a $4,000 motorcycle. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of economic sense, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of other motorcycles like this out there, but nonetheless, I'm very happy to have a set of panniers on this motorcycle. And in this video, I want to go out and test them and see how the bike performs with the luggage fully loaded. And the idea is that I am going to be taking a longer motorcycle camping trip in the very near future. So as you can see, the panniers easily mount to the frame. There's a new latching mechanism on these panniers compared to my old ones. It works pretty slick. I have locks for everything that I'll install later. It's really great to have a set of easily removable metal panniers on the motorcycle. And now I can finally carry all of my possessions and camping gear in a dry and secure place. And speaking of sponsors, I would also like to make a special thanks to Climb for their new Marrakesh riding suit. This is the second generation of this highly breathable jacket and pants. And to be honest, it's the most comfortable riding gear that I've ever worn. And you'll notice that there's no venting. That's because both the jacket and pants are made of an extremely breathable material. And so the entire riding suit vents just on its own. It's April and the mornings are still cold, but I can already tell it's going to be a hot day today once the desert warms up. So let's get back on the road and head into the mountains. I would have to say this bike is performing admirably considering how loaded up I have it with camping gear. So the experiment is going rather well. I have not noticed really that much, if any, diminished power because of the additional weight or the wind resistance. I've been able to go easily 50 miles an hour on the flat roads. I think there was even a slight grade downhill because I got it up to 59 miles an hour at one point on the highway just coming right to here. But in general, it has been a smooth, comfortable, enjoyable ride, whether I was on the pavement or on the dirt. And I've seen a lot of beautiful scenery already, and there's a lot more to come. So I am north of Douglas on historic Highway 80, and I'm just about to turn to the west and head into the Chiricahua Mountains. I'll pass through the very small town of Portal, maybe get some lunch there or grab some supplies for a picnic, and then I'll be heading up into the mountains. And these mountains, the Chiricahuas, they are the largest mountain range down here in southeastern Arizona. Wow, that was so cool. I just love coming up here to the Chiricahua Mountains. And now we're gonna go down on the west side of the Chiricahua Mountains. It's gonna be dirt for quite a ways, but just when we get out of the dirt and hit the pavement, it's an opportunity to really see the heart of the Chiricahua Mountains. That's coming up next. Well, here we are. We have reached our destination. The heart of the Chiricahuas. Isn't it beautiful? If I'm lucky, I'll make it here at least once a year. Usually I can get out here 2 or 3 times a year. And anytime I suggest that someone takes a motorcycle ride over the Chiricahua mountain range, I suggest that they stop here in the Chiricahua National Monument, because it's here specifically where you can see these incredible rock formations. This is what the Chiricahua Mountains are known for. Amazing and beautiful. So I'm gonna head home from here. I've got about 100 miles or so to get back to Bisbee across the flatlands. And I've been on the road for 12 hours so far. It's been about an 18-mile-an-hour day. So needless to say, I've got a few hours ahead of me. Well, here I am sitting on the little bike, and it's a week later, and I've had some time to think about what I learned on this short trip on this small Honda 125 and how that might aid me in my upcoming adventure. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, one of the reasons that I purchased this little Honda was to take it on some big adventures, some big trips, and that's what I'm going to do starting tomorrow. I'm going to head out from my home in southern Arizona, and I plan on being on the road for at least 2 weeks, probably covering about 2,000 miles during that time. And so this short test ride really gave me a chance to evaluate the bike and see how it's performing with a full load of camping gear and what kind of mileage I can do in a day. So here's my thoughts. On this little test ride, I basically left home at sunrise at 5:30 in the morning, and I didn't get home until sunset at 7:30 in the evening. So that was a 14-hour day, and I spent the better part of that day in the saddle riding, and my only stops or opportunities to get off the bike were to do some filmmaking, more or less. I didn't really take a long lunch or spend a lot of time off the bike sightseeing. I pretty much rode all day long and did my filming. So I went 280 miles during about a 14-hour day. So that averages out to about 20 miles an hour. Now obviously that's not very fast, and I wouldn't put it all down to the fact that this is a small motorcycle. A lot of that just relates to the fact that I was filming this trip, and so I quite often get off the motorcycle to film things or to set up a shot. So if I bear that in mind, know that on a trip that I'm riding and filming, I'll be doing about 20 miles an hour when I'm riding. That's something to consider. So the one thing I would say is that I think spending 14 hours on the bike in the saddle was a little much. I would probably rather ride for about 8 hours and have the rest of the day free to take a lunch or relax or do some sightseeing or get into camp early. So with that in mind, I'm thinking I'll be able to do about 160 miles a day on average if I ride for about 8 hours a day at an average speed of 20 miles an hour. And so just putting that into perspective and setting my expectation here at the beginning gives me something to aim for and to be able to understand what it is that I'm hoping to achieve. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm thinking that with this little bike fully loaded on a long trip, a camping trip, I'll probably ride for about 8 hours a day, do about 160 miles a day on average. As far as the handling goes, the bike is obviously loaded up and I can feel the weight. Incidentally, this motorcycle weighs about 260 pounds and it has a 260 pound carrying capacity. So that's something to bear in mind. Now, I weighed all of my camping gear as I've done before, and I want to give you those totals so that we know what kind of luggage we're carrying and the weight of everything. So you'll notice on the back of the bike that I have 2 large metal panniers, and each one has a dry bag on top. Each one of those panniers with the dry bag weighs 30 pounds. That includes the weight of the pannier itself, the contents of the pannier, and the dry bag and its contents on the top. So 30 pounds on each side of the motorcycle. And then I have this large black top case, and it, with its contents, also weighs 30 pounds. So that right there is about 90 pounds of luggage. Now I do have a couple of small pouches kind of attached to the front crash bars, and one of them contains a water bottle. The other one contains a thermos that I could fill up with coffee or a cold beverage or something like that. And then behind me on the seat, I have a water bladder and a tarp. And so let's just say that the extra things on this motorcycle weigh 10 pounds. So that's a total of 100 pounds of luggage, which oddly enough is about the same amount of luggage that I would carry on my full-size BMW 1200 GS. So I'm not really sacrificing any possessions or camping gear compared to what I would normally carry. I have just about the same amount of luggage. I'm just working with a smaller motorcycle. Now, bearing in mind that this does have a total carrying capacity of about 260 pounds, including the rider and all of the rider's luggage, let's add that up real quick. So I weigh somewhere between 160 and 170 pounds. And then let's say we've got 100 pounds of additional luggage. That's 270 right there. So I am about 10 pounds over the maximum carrying capacity. Hopefully there's a little room for error. I don't really have time to go on a diet and lose an extra 10 pounds right now. I could shed a few of my possessions, or I could just head out as is, fully loaded. And that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna head out with all of this camping gear on this little tiny motorcycle, go for a nice long 2-week ride here in the deserts of the Southwest. I'll be doing lots of photography and video along the way, and hopefully find some pretty cool campsites. So let's leave it at that for now. You probably won't see another video on this channel for at least a couple of weeks. But when I come back, hopefully I'll have a good one for you, a tiny bike adventure. So stick around and come back to see that one. Thanks for watching this video. Be safe, ride well, and we'll see you in the next episode.